So today we will start building the social media web application that I showed you in the last episode using the MERN stack, okay? And in this episode, we will lay the foundation for our project by explaining what a MERN stack is and how it encompasses both the front end and back end developments. So what is the MERN stack? The M stands for MongoDB, which is a NoSQL database that stores our data. The E stands for Express.js, a web application framework for building the backend. The R stands for React, which is a JavaScript library for building user interfaces on the front end. And the N, of course, stands for Node.js. That is very important, actually. It runs everything on the server. So yeah, it's a JavaScript runtime environment for the server-side development, Node.js. Okay, so that is basically what the MERN stand for, as in MERN. And it is worthy of note that the MERN stack is a powerful combination of technologies used for building modern web applications. Okay, like I said before, of course, MongoDB stores our data. Express.js handles server-side logic. React manages the user interface, and the Node.js runs our server. Okay, and these technologies work seamlessly together to create a full stack experience, or let me say a full stack application. Okay, so before we dive into the code, let's try to understand how a MERN stack application is structured. So there is the front end, right? This is the part of the application that the user interacts with directly, and it's responsible for rendering the user interface and handling user interactions. Okay, so in our projects, we will use Nest.js, which is a React framework, to build the front end. And of course, we have the back end. And the back end is the server side of our application. It handles data storage, data retrieval, and business logic, okay, which we are going to be seeing a lot. You know, we'll be writing a lot of JavaScript code to do a lot of things, you know, various things. And we will use Express.js and Node.js to build this backend. Okay, so we have the database, and for our application, we will use MongoDB, of course, a NoSQL database, to store our application's data. Okay, and that is because it is flexible and scalable choice, okay, for handling structured and unstructured data. Now let's talk about the functionalities of this amazing web application. So my expectation is that by the end of this series, we will have implemented many features and capabilities. Okay, we will definitely start by building all our REST APIs. We will build APIs for creating and editing user profiles, posting, editing, and deleting posts, liking and reacting to posts, like we saw in the preview, right? We can do, you know, the reactions like we have it on Facebook, okay, on posts. And we will build APIs for commenting on posts and replying to comments, okay? Also for upvoting and downvoting comments and replies. Also, APIs will be built for setting, following, and unfollowing other users. Okay, users will definitely be able to make different post types. Users will be able to upload images and videos, and we will display them on the front end seamlessly. Okay, and also we will use the Google Cloud Storage to manage our media assets. And I will show you how to upload images to GCS, okay, the Google Cloud Storage on the Node.js server, okay. and I will also show you how to use the Sharp library to optimize the images. We will also leverage the Nest.js capabilities to build user authentication and authorization. Okay, we will have a real-time update across the application using RTK queries. We will also implement infinite scrolling across the application. Honestly, there are many more functionalities that I won't mention now in the interest of time, but we shall see them later. Okay. All these functionalities will give us a robust foundation for a social media platform, and we will build these features step by step throughout the series. Okay, and honestly, I sincerely hope you guys can like this video and share this channel with your network so that many more people can benefit from this video and the channel, and that way I will be more encouraged to release more videos on time. Okay, finally, let's get our hands dirty and start building the back end of our Monstack application. Again, we will use Node.js and Express.js framework to create the server that will handle HTTP requests and responses. And I will guide you guys through installing the necessary dependencies and creating the basic structure of our backend server. Okay. We will develop routes for handling all the relevant HTTP requests. So please continue watching as we embark on this exciting journey to build our Monstack application from scratch. If you are ready to get started, ensure you have Node.js and a code editor installed on your system. I will recommend Visual Studio Code. Okay. So we're going to start with this Monstack application now. I am going to just create a new folder. I'm going to call it Monstack. Let's move it here. I'm going to launch the Visual Studio Code. And I'm just going to open that folder we just created. It's going to be on my desktop. And that is it there. Now we have it. I'm going to go into the terminal. We are inside the Monstack folder. So to begin, I'm going to say npm init. Okay. So this is going to start with npm init. And I'm just going to make sure I'm inside the right folder. Okay. So let's begin. And it's just going to ask us some basic questions. So I'm going to answer them one by one. So now it's asking me what is going to be this package name. So this package name, I'm going to make it, I'm going to just call this Prologic or Prologics. Okay, enter. Then this is version 1 is okay. Description. So I'm going to say this is a Monstack application built on Coding University YouTube channel. Okay, I'm going to enter. Entry point, I'm going to use server.js. We're going to create that shortly. Enter. Test command, nothing for now. Git repository, nothing for now. Keywords, nothing. So we're going to say author is, let's say Coding University. Enter. We're going to say MIT license. And is this okay? Yes, it's okay. Now we created the package.json. Okay. So if you open the package.json file, you are going to have something like this. Okay. And it's as simple as that. For now, let's come back to the terminal and let's clear so we get some breathing space. And then I'm going to just install Express. Okay. So, and that is going to be with the command npm install. With high, you can, you are basically installing something, a node package. So we're going to say npm install express. Okay, and we're just going to hit enter, and it's going to install express. And as you can see, right, we have the node underscore modules, right? It is as simple as that. And also we can see the express dependencies. It is the version 4.18.2 and above. Okay, we support this application essentially. So now we are going to quickly install one more dependency, but this one is going to be a dev dependency, and it's the node MERN. Okay, so the node MERN is going to basically help us to restart our server if we, when we make any changes in the application that we are building. Okay, so I'm going to install it as a dev dependency, and it's going to be with the npm install node MERN. I'm going to put a dash and capital D. That will ensure that it installs as a dev dependencies. As you can see, right, under the dev dependencies. So we have the node MERN installed. So quickly, let's make a change here. I'm going to remove this. Let's put stats. Let's say we want to start as so this is an object, so we'll say this will be the node server. Okay, and then we're going to have the dev property, and this is going to be the node MERN. Okay, the node MERN server, right? Awesome. So we're going to have something like this. Okay, we're going to have something like this for now. As we go on in the tutorial, we're going to be installing some more dependencies, and we're going to be seeing a lot of that. Okay, as we go on with building this application. Okay, awesome. So quickly, I'm going to just navigate to this main directory, and I will create a git ignore file, so that when it's time for us to, so I'm going to say .git ignore. When it's time for us to start moving our files to GitHub, we can ignore some files here. Okay, so and the file that I'm going to first ignore for sure is the node underscore modules. Okay, we don't want to push that to GitHub. Okay, awesome. All right, so quickly, we are also going to create some folders. We're going to create some folders. Okay, and these folders we're going to be using them as we go on in the application. So to create folder, you navigate to this one, new folder. So let's start with the public folder. Okay, public folder, and that should be that. And let's add the route folder. Actually, let's move to the right folder. So we're going to move up so that we can put it in the main directory. Okay, so we're going to put it here and say routes. Okay, and then let's bring it out again, just so we ensure that we are creating the folders in the right directory. So I'm going to be having middleware folder. Actually, let's say middleware. So we're going to have a lot. We're going to have a lot of that. Okay, and let's bring this thing here. Then let's create. Let me think. Helpers. Okay, these are folders that we are going to be using as time goes on. Then we are going to also have the models, which we're going to be using to connect with our database. Okay. Also, we're going to have the controllers, which we have all the files that we're going to be using to write our logic. Okay, for this MERN stack application. And also let's add config. config folder. It's also very crucial. And then let's add the let's say views. Okay, even though we are mainly using the server side for our APIs, API development, but we also want to kind of have a page where people can land, like the home page for our APIs. Okay, that is not going to be the social media application itself, right? It's just going to be the home page for the APIs. Okay, and then we are going to be seeing how that as time goes on, how we are going to navigate through all of this. So quickly, in the public directory, I'm going to create, let's create assets. Actually, let's create a folder first. So we're going to call it assets. And then in the assets folder, I'm going to come in and create a file. Let's just say style.css. Okay. Style.css. Also, we should have something like, let's say api.js. Okay, so we have two things in the asset, and then let's see. Actually, let's close all this. As I was creating them, the files were just were getting opened. Okay, so let's quickly go into the views and create let's create a file. Let's create the index.html. Okay, awesome. Now we have the index.html. Okay, let's just put the HTML block once and for all. We'll come back to this later, but actually, let's not come back later. Let's do it now. Let's say we have h1. Let's say coding university API page, API home. Okay, and then let's say in the p tag we have a welcome to our API home page. Awesome. Let's close this one. Let's close this one for now. Actually, let's open it. Let's attach the style.css. Let's just say .css for now, even though we don't have anything in the CSS. Anyway, let's close out of this one. For now, I will go to the main tab and create the most important file, which is going to be the am I in the main directory? Yes, I am. So I'm going to create the server.js. Okay, server.js, and this is going to be where we're going to be seeing a lot of fun stuff. Okay, as it relates to our server. Okay, so to begin, you remember we installed the Express dependency, right? So we're going to start with const express equals require, and then we're going to require what? We're going to require express. Okay, express. Okay, so then we're going to say const app equals express. Okay, and then we can also quickly just say const paths equals require. We're going to require paths. Okay, you will see all these things on the Express.js documentation. Okay, also I would like to define a constant. I'll call it ports. Okay, and let's just use the port 3500. Okay, and quickly, you remember I created the public directory, but how is this application going to have access to the public directory? to make that possible, we are going to say app dot use, and then we're basically trying to create a middleware, okay, that we can use to find the public assets, okay, the static assets. So we're going to use the slash, basically the root of the application, and then we want to go to express static, and then we'll do the paths. We'll look for the join property, and then we do a double underscore directory name, okay. I mean, you're not going to write a directory, right? Just the name, and then we want to go into the public directory, okay. Actually, we want to go into the public directory and then look for the assets folder where we're going to have all our public assets, okay. And that way we can look for all the static assets of our application. So let's quickly define what happens when people visit the root of our application. So that is going to be made possible by this line of code. So we're going to say app use, and then we're going to go into the root, which is basically slash, and then we're going to require let's go into that, the routes, and then we're going to require go into the routes.js, which I don't think we have created already. We have not. Yeah, we're going to create that. Okay, and also I guess lastly, let's listen for that port, okay, the ports that we defined above, okay. And then as we listen, we want to fire something, just say something, okay, so that we know that our app is now up and running. So I'm going to, what should we do? Let's just log something to the console. Console.log. I'm going to log, let's do a template literal. Let's say decoding university server is now running on ports. Let's do $, so we can put the value of our ports there, okay. Awesome. So with that, we should be close to having a server, okay. Basically what we are doing is building the server, okay. So if I save this now, we might hit an error because we don't have the routes.js yet, okay. And we're going to see that if I navigate away from there. Okay, not yet, because I didn't run our server yet. So anyway, let's quickly create that so we don't see that error. So we are going to create routes.js, okay, and inside the routes.js, I'm going to basically do similar things that I did in the server.js, except for a few differences, okay. So we're going to have const, actually I should copy that, but anyway, let's just type it out, doesn't really matter. So require, we're going to have express, okay. Actually, that should be in a string, okay. We're going to require that, and also we're going to the same thing actually, const path equals what was that, require, and same thing, okay, same story, path. Like I said, all these things can be found on the express .js documentation, okay. And now one new thing, we're going to do const router equals express dot router, okay. And we're going to use that express method. Actually, we're going to use that to do a lot of things in this application. It's going to be the foundation of all our routing. Okay, so let's now use the router, and then let's use the get method. Basically, we want to, this is what we want to define what people get, okay, when they visit our API. Okay, so we have that, and then we are going to have the $, and then we have a pipe, which is like the HOR. Okay, this is regex. Okay, you can just copy this. It doesn't really matter. And then we can put, so basically I'm trying to do the index.html. okay, the index.html that we created, we are trying to say that that should be the file that people should see when they visit the home page of our API, right? But I'm making the .html optional. Okay, so with that, I'm making it optional. So now I'm going to, look for the rec res, and then we want to, this is arrow function. I talked about this in our last class. Okay, so we're going to have return this, and what we are returning is the response. Okay, and we're going to use the send file. I should have it here, send file, and then we do path dot join. Okay, just similar to what we did in the server file. Okay, the name, and then we are going to basically say that, okay, let's go up one level in the folder directory, and then we look for the views folder, and then let's inside the view, let's look for the index.html. okay, .html, and that should be it. So actually, no, not yet, not so fast. Let's export this module exports. We're going to say equals router. Okay, that way we can use it in the server file. Okay, so now because we don't have anything in this index.html yet, right? I mean, we have something. Yeah, we have something. I take that back. Okay, let's run our application. Let's see what we get. Let's run it. So to run it, let's just say npm run dev. And as you can see, it's running perfectly, and it's doing exactly what we asked it to do. Okay, you can see, right? The NodeMon server started, and then it says the Coding University server is now running on port 3500. So this is just our server already set up. Okay, our server is already set up, and if we go to this to our local host and look for this port, we are going to see our application there. Okay, and I'm going to show that to you now. So let's go out and look for something to, so I'm going to say localhost 3500, and as you can see, our server is running perfectly. Coding University API home, welcome to our API. Okay, so that is exactly what we wanted to see, right? We have the HTML saying Coding University API home, welcome to our API homepage, right? It is as simple as that. So I mean, this is not CSS class, but we can give that some styling. Okay, so for the CSS, I have some CSS classes here that I wrote. I'm just going to save it, and let's see what we get. Okay, cool. This looks nice because this is not a CSS class, so I just decided to just write that offline. Awesome. So we have our server up and running on port 3500, as you can see, and you can also see the home page that we built for it. And that will be the end for today. I will continue in the next class where we are going to be building the rest of the routes and all the logic that we define how we handle the users and the posts and all the things that we're going to be having on our social media application. Okay. One thing I want to ask you though is to please like this video and share it with your network, okay, so that it can reach more people. And I'll see you in the next class. Bye.